What up, gamers? It is Will 777JP, and we are back. Happy New Year's. We are officially in 2025, and man, what a ride was 2024. I'm actually glad that we are past 2024. It just feels like kind of like a weight has been lifted from my shoulders in a way. In specific with video games, like 2024 was, a lot of people think it's a great year. I think it was a good year. I don't think it was a great year. I think 2023 was a much better year. And the reason I say that was because there were more and more games that I wanted to play in 2023. To me, 2024 felt like the year of anticipation. We got no communication from Sony this year. Xbox, they announced a lot of things, but 2025 is the year that these things are going to come out. Also, the first quarter of 2024 is when PlayStation's fiscal year ends, and we should start seeing some releases. We got news from upper management over at Sony that from going forward, they want to release one major AAA title every year moving forward. And also, we're in the second half of the generation. Second half. And if you guys go back to the PlayStation 4, Xbox One generation, the second half of that generation is when things really got popping, specifically for PlayStation. PlayStation then started coming out with the Ghost of Tsushimas, the Lord of God of Wars, the Horizons. What else they come out with in the second half? The Last of Us Part 2, Uncharted. So they really started firing at all cylinders in that second half. And guess what? We're in year 5 of the PlayStation 5 and Xbox. We know for sure that this year, 2025, Xbox has a lot of games coming out for us. I mean, we got Doom, Outer Space 2, Fable. The list goes on. This should be a huge year for Xbox. Now, the question is, will PlayStation compete? And also, we should be in the last year of the Switch. This year, Nintendo should be announcing their next console for 2025. Will it be a Switch 2? That's what the leaks and rumors are saying, but we will see. I am looking forward to that. So 2025 should be a beautiful year in gaming, and I think this will be the best year of the generation. But we will wait and see. But today's video, I wanted to talk about cover arts, and I picked out 10 of my favorite cover arts for the PS5. I was going to do PlayStation 4 as well, but then this video would have been freaking an hour long, and we all know attention spans are in the gutter. But quick story about cover arts, especially for you gamers out there that have been gaming for, where this Christmas was your 30th anniversary, 32nd anniversary, 35th anniversary. Video games used to not be locked up and put away behind a glass case. They used to be displayed out at the store. And I remember Kmart in specific. Now, I don't think there's any Kmarts left. Maybe there is, but to my knowledge, there ain't. Kmart. My mom used to shop at Kmart all the time, and I love Kmart because of the layout of the store. When this is the entrance of Kmart, the electronics section will be on the left side of the store, and then on the right side, you would have like home goods, freaking towels, bed sheets, and then going forward up, you have clothing and stuff like that. I don't really remember this side because I always hung out on the electronics section. So we would walk in, I would tell my mom, hey, I'm gonna be in the electronics section looking at games, and when you're done, come pick me up. So she would go all the way around the store, stop over here because this is where they also had the toiletries, toilet paper, toothbrushes, toothpaste. So she would have to come over here. She would get those items, pick me up, and then we would go to the cashier and cash out. Sometimes my sister would hang out with me, or other times my sister will go to the toy store, which I think was on this side, if I remember correctly. So my sister always got screwed because she would have the shortest amount of time at looking through toys. Now, of course, I never got shit. I only got video games during the holidays, right? Christmas, birthdays, that's it. Maybe, rarely, on a random freaking Friday, my mom or my dad will buy me a game or something like that I've been talking about, talking their ear off about, but that was super rare. So I used to just grab these freaking games and just stare at them, turn them around, read everything that I could in the back, and just like fall in love with something that I knew I couldn't have, depending on how long Christmas was or my birthday was, which my birthday's in February, Christmas is December, so it's only a couple months there. And just fawn over the game and the art style. And a couple days ago, I was standing in front of my video game collection trying to figure out what I was going to play next. And I'm picking up games, I'm looking at them, and I'm like, all right, should I play this or that? And I'm like, man, this art style is so nice. Let me go ahead and make a video of 10 PlayStation 5 games that I really like the art style of, or the cover art. So thank you guys so much. Please hit the like and subscribe. And starting with the first one is Death's Door, which coincidentally is actually the first game I've played in 2023. The very first game I popped in, which is interesting because, or the way I know that is because I got my PlayStation wrap up for 2024, and it lets you know the first game that you played that year. And this was the very first game. And I remember, or the things that I like about this art style that I think is just phenomenal is, first off, this game, when you play it, is black and white, right? But the art in the cover is color, and I just love all the different characters that you have here, and they're in color, of course, but the art style is so phenomenal. And then they're all standing on this platform, and then behind them you have these doors or these gateways, which if you played this game, you would know that you play as him right here, and you leave this dimension through these doors, through the gates, and then you go into the dimension you're gonna go into. So super fun art style. I really enjoy it. And also shout out to Devolver, man. These dudes are publishing some of the best games in recent years, indie stuff. But Death's Door, awesome art style. And also the back, which does give you a description of the game, man. And I'm sorry, the black and white is while you're in the dimension. When you go out into the other dimensions, is color. But yeah, such an awesome art style. The next one is a game that I started playing recently, Visions of Mana. If you guys were there during my New Year's midnight stream, this is the game that I was playing. The game has got its claws on me, y'all. I really love it. The same thing that captured my attention when the game first got announced is the same thing that has me captured with the game now, and it's that freaking art style. Like, it's just phenomenal. Like, look at the colors in here. The colors, and you go from light to dark. The title, dark to light, or like split in half. And I just think it looks so beautiful, man. It's super beautiful. And the back doesn't really give you much information. It just tells you a couple little sentences here, but it does show you a little bit of the world, and I really appreciate that. But man, attention to detail with this art style or art cover. So I really love this. Next one is Hades. Now this is very unique right here. Now it has like a holographic kind of look to it. I don't know if you guys can see that, but Hades' art style, the design of the character is just phenomenal. And I like how in the background you just have like red flames or red rocks, which gives the impression with the dark in the background that you're somewhere deep down. You know what I'm saying? Deep down in the earth. And that's exactly what this is. That's what Hades is. Hades is hell. And I just think that this art style is so magnificent. The game art style itself is also magnificent. This game is definitely a looker. The back shows you the different characters. Now I got this Game of the Year edition, or not edition, but with the stamp. I tried looking for this version of the game that doesn't have none of this stuff on there, but of course as time goes on, those prints disappear, and this is what you get. But man, such a beautiful, colorful art cover. So that's the first one. The next one, Guardians of the Galaxy. Now, in today's world, some of these pink and purplish colors, bluish colors, don't necessarily mean a good thing as far as the game goes, right? Because if we look at a game like Dragon Age, right? So kind of the similar. And by the way, I think this art style also looks good. It looks really good. You have the wings, and on the wings you have the characters. But besides the point. But you guys know why this game is hated. You guys know it. And if you don't know, look it up. Some of the shit in here is just fucking ridiculous. But lately, we have been noticing that games that have this kind of color combination means that the game is, you know, like Dragon Age Veilguard, right? A disappointment. But before that crap, we have Guardians of the Galaxy, which was a phenomenal game. Phenomenal game. And you guys have heard from me say that this is one of my favorite games of this generation. I've beaten this game numerous times. I'm only a couple trophies away from the platinum. But man, I just love that you have the main characters on the front. You have Star-Lord, Rocket, Groot, Gamora. I mean, it's just amazing. And this is one of the first levels in the game with the pink, I don't know what you call that stuff, but it really pops out. And then you have the ship in the background with them coming out of the ship ready to fight, and it's just that bright light. And then you have the universe back there, and even the font of the lettering of the game, Guardians of the Galaxy. I just think this art looks super, super good, and it almost has a realistic look to it. It's not, but it almost has a photorealistic look to it with Star-Lord here. And then, you know, just the attention to the details, like the guns, the hands on the trigger, the freaking the shirt and the lines on the shirt. I mean, it's just amazing, amazing, amazing. And then the back, of course, here you have them all lined up like they're taking a freaking mug shot, right? That's freaking player, because if you know what the Guardians of the Galaxy is, then you already know. But yeah, super amazing art cover. One of my favorites. The next one is Dungeon Munchies. Now this game I've never played, right? I bought this game because it was super cheap and it interested me, based on what I've seen online and the trailers. But what stood out to me with this is the drawings. I mean, this looks like some anime freaking, you know, like I don't know how to explain it, but I just think that is so nicely done, so nicely done. And obviously you have here this woman, this girl, looks like a chef's hat on with a book that has knife and fork on there. So this is to be some sort of ingredient book or something like that, or cooking book. And then you have the monsters down here, and then he's throwing more ingredients, but they look like monsters or zombies. So it's just, there's a lot going on here, but the art itself is what really caught my attention. And then another thing is the title, right? Look at the font, Dungeon Munchies. It looks like a retro game font, right? And that's the cool thing about the game, is that it's giving you a little bit about what the game's gonna look like with that retroness in there. So I just found this to be super amazing, dude. And look at this freaking CD. And this is another video I'm gonna make with the actual art on the CD, because this itself is so good, so good. So Dungeon Munchies, haven't played it. I think this will be another game we'll be playing after Visions of Mana. The next one is Wild Hearts. Now, I just love the use of purples and reds in this one. I love how the characters on here are all drawn upon their shapes. Like, they're robots, but you can tell, like, this guy right here is super masculine with a super squared off jaw robot. But then you have the woman over here, even though she's a robot as well, the lines aren't quite as sharp. Then you have this dude in the back, super muscular. This one is like a techie guy, and it's so interesting how you can tell that what each one of these is based on their personality, based on how they were drawn. So super cool, man. And then the wild right here is so bold, just all white, super sharp lines. So I just think it's super good. And then this up here, I just think this looks amazing, man. So this is another one that looks good. Next one is Vertigo 2. Now, as you can tell, we are getting into a freaking, I mean, what is this, a third one that you have these reds and purples and pinks, right? Vertigo is another one. But the thing that catches my attention with Vertigo, obviously the first thing that you see is the pinks and the reds, right? That's the first thing. But once you start to look closely, then you see all the characters. And each character has such a unique design. I mean, look at this dude with a freaking hand for a face with an eyeball in the palm. Like, that is just crazy character design. And obviously the person in the front is a human, but everything else is robotic or something like out of this world. And man, once you start to look at each individual character, that's where this art style or the art cover really pops off, in my opinion. And then here's the back. So super awesome art cover. The next one is Prince of Persia: The Lost Crown. When I first saw this, I didn't see this until after. I saw gameplay, I saw trailers, but I didn't see this until I went to the store. And when I went to go pick it up, it really caught my attention, right? Just the blues, the way they use the different types of blues in this one, because blue is very appealing to the eye. For example, fast food restaurants will have a lot of yellow and a lot of red because those colors trigger something in your mind that makes you feel hungry. Blues are super relaxing. So you'll pick this up and you'll be like, oh man, this is a very chill looking game, until you start paying close attention to the details. So right here, he's basically dashing, being pushed by the energy, which is blue, but he's going towards something with his swords in hand, right? So super badass. Then back here you have somebody standing there, which the color kind of happens to offset it because this is all light back here, and with that offset in the black, it just looks amazing. And then of course the little details, like look at the buckles in the boot, look at the belt, the chest strap, the freaking arm guard, and then the hair, right? Just so player. And then of course a big common denominator in these art covers is also the font, because some of these games have great cover art, but the font isn't as good, which isn't as pleasing to the eye as a whole package. But Prince of Persia, amazing. And look at this picture up here, bro. So freaking fire. So Prince of Persia is another one. The next one here is Horizon Adventures. I'm going to be real with you guys. I wish that they would have got rid of Aloy and Varl. I think that takes away from this art cover, but I still really mess with this art cover heavy. You have the T-Rex machine back here, you have this one right here, and then you have the world, right? And it's just so colorful. You can see that there's different biomes. So you have the mountains with the snow, then you have over here like woodland area. Up in the front it's more deserty, right? So super badass. And another piece that it's not part of the art style, but to me it makes it all pop. And that's actually the Lego logo right here. That red square with the light white lettering. For some reason, it makes this whole freaking cover art pop for me. But super cool. Horizon is one of my favorite IPs. This game was average. It wasn't good. It wasn't bad. And I think it's one of the worst Lego games per se, because the worlds are not as destructible and it's missing a lot of that Lego stuff. Like, you can't just build in this game, which is really weird. But because I love so much the Horizon IP, I beat this game and I enjoyed it, but I wouldn't recommend it unless you're another huge Horizon IP fan. And then this is what the back looks like. So super cool art. And then last but not least is Outcast: A New Beginning. Now, you guys know how much I really like this game. I talked about this game in my last collection video, I believe it was. But man, do I love this art cover. I really do enjoy it. It just shows here Cutter Slate with the native alien and their home planet standing there together, looking off into the horizon. And there isn't a lot of color going on at first look, but when you start to focus, that's where all the color pops off. Now, right over here, you have the greens with, showing you that they're coming out of like some woodland area, some forest type of deal, standing on top of a huge tree branch. Then you have some huge flying animal. And if you actually get super close, you can see some of that detail in that flying creature up there. And obviously they're heading into some sort of castle. And then you have the super cute little creature over here, which is a creature that was part of my collector's edition, which I showed. And then of course the back. The one thing that I don't like about the front of this cover is this line. They should have kept that off. I think it would have looked way better with just Outcast on there. But let's see if I can show you guys more detail with the flashlight, if it won't just bounce off. But look at that bottom of that tree. You can see the roots, you can see the moss, and then over to the right, you can see that plant that looks like little eggs. Let's see right there, little bulbs. So I mean, full of detail, this cover art. And I mean, if you look down here, it's just, I don't know, man, it's just awesome. So these are just 10 of games that I really find the cover art to be freaking beautiful. I didn't try to pick 10 or anything like that. I just happened to pick 10. But man, these cover arts, man, we need to be talking about these more and more, bro. Like, this is art, bro. This is freaking art. This looks like almost like a comic book. You know what I'm saying? Now, there is some cover art where some people wanted to basically tell you about the game. And I think that if you dig deep into some of these cover arts, it will tell you a little bit about the game. Like, look at Prince of Persia. You know that it's a fighting game. You know that he has some sort of special ability where he's getting propelled forward. You know that it's a melee game because he's got swords, right? And you know that there's something going on in the background because you have this random dude standing looking at him while he's fighting. You know what I'm saying? Same thing with Vertigo. So I mean, there is a lot of things to look at when you're looking at physical games and their art cover. And I think that you should pay a little bit more attention, man. Pay a little bit more attention. Maybe you will notice some things that you didn't notice at just a glance. But shout out to all the artists who make these things, man. I know that it's becoming a lost art, right? The art is becoming a lost art. But please, if anybody who makes decision with physical games or the art or just anything, first thing I want to say is thank you for still putting in the effort. Also, I want to say thank you for the work that you've done. And mind you, I've only picked 10 games to show you in the video today because I didn't want this video to be 100 minutes long. There is so many more out there, guys. So many more. And another thing too, which is another video that I'm going to talk about, and I'll give you a preview. Let me push this back a little bit. Actually, let me move this to the side. This is going to be probably one of the next videos that I'm going to make. So we talked about Visions of Mana, right? Well, what about reversible art cover? When did we forget about reversible art covers? I mean, we talk about steelbooks all the time, but reversible art covers. Come on, y'all. That's a whole other world that we ain't even talk about yet. So that's going to be probably one of the next videos that I make is, I don't know, top 10 games with the best reversible art covers. And I'm going to tell you what, there's way more of them than you think there is. Like, I was just jotting down some games with reversible art covers, and there is way more than you would think, dude. Like, I got 20 freaking names just in the span of like 10 minutes. You know what I mean? So here's another one, Guardians of the Galaxy. Like, so we'll get into that. But thank y'all so much for watching the video, man. Hit the like and subscribe. Let's start off 2025 strong. Let's get some gaming in, which is what I'm about to do right now, actually, before I got to do other chores. But thank you so much for rocking with me. And let me know what you guys think about the art. Did I pick some good ones? Did I pick some crappy ones? Is there some that you really like personally? Is there some art that you really like? Let me know in the comment section below. Hit the like and subscribe and the notification bell so you know when I post the next video. Thank y'all so much. Keep it gaming.